Yo, what's up to all my new subscribers out there and everybody checking out this video? Shout out to you taking that step into wholesaling, just taking that step into real estate and understanding that you trying to make some serious money in a big game and be a big player in this game. This is my channel, Hustle on Real Estate. My name is Mike. My company's Dash Property. And thank you for subscribing and following. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the link down below, like my videos. I'm going to keep bringing as much value as I can so that you can start making lots of good money in wholesaling. I've been doing this for about 3 years now, and I've been pretty successful, and I definitely want to bring people up to the top with me. As I learn and grow, I want to give you as much value as possible. So thank you for checking me out. Follow, subscribe. But this video today is definitely about the basics, the fundamentals of wholesaling. A lot of times we get wrapped up in, I want to make this amount of money, I want to own 10 units, I want to do this. What is wholesaling? What can I do with this property here? And there's so many questions and so many pieces involved in wholesaling. You really just got to make it simple. You need to remember, is this a deal? So I want to teach you today on how to break down what is a deal so that you're able to wholesale it at a correct price to make money off of your end buyer. So, is this a deal? Do you have a motivated seller? Before you even decide all that, when you find your target area or you find a particular house on your street and you're like, I wonder if this is a distressed property and I can make money. You got to break it all the way down, and we want to start with the fundamentals, like I said. So, fundamental number one is you got to know your ARVs, after repair value. How much is this property going to be when it's fixed up to 2020 standards, comparable to the houses in this neighborhood, in this street, in this block, in this neighborhood, in this zip code? Is it going to be, you got to find the right price. You have to know your ARV and you have to do it right. So you need to find the top 3 to 4 properties that have sold in the last 12 months or so, usually 12 months. It needs to be located within a mile of the property that you're willing to make an offer on. And it needs to be the same proximity. So it has to be the same criteria. Has to be the same bedroom square foot. It has to be relative square footage, relative same, has to be the same bedrooms and bathrooms around the same year. So if it's a 1955 house built in 1955 and it has 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath and 1,500 square feet, you're going to put that into maybe your Zillow filter, or if you're a realtor, your MLS filter, and you want to see what's sold in the last 12 months with the exact same criteria or about the same criteria. Once you get to 3 or 4 properties that have sold the most amount in that area, in that 1 mile radius, you're going to have an average of what your ARV might be for the particular property that you're looking at. So once you nail that ARV, that's the very first step, and that's just one of your tools that you just got to have in your belt, is knowing that ARV. I try to stress this to my new people that I partner with or I'm mentoring or teaching, that this is the stuff that's gonna make you think on the fly when you're talking to buyers, sellers, whatever the case may be. You're gonna be the one that's gonna be able to tell someone a number, or you're gonna tell yourself what's a good number very quickly. So after that, let's go on to how we're going to calculate what you're going to have your max allowable offer. How much you could offer the most to that seller for it to be a wholesale deal. Okay, what this video is strictly about, is the wholesale deal. So if you see a distressed property I want you to take the ARV. We're going to say the ARV is 250K. But let's just start with the formula. ARV times 75%, and we're going to do minus the rehab costs, and then we're going to minus your assignment fee that you would like to make off of it. And so usually typically you want to try and make 5 to 10,000. Everybody has their own number. I'm doing it at 0.75, 75%, because I want you, that's the loan to value, which I'll explain in another video. Your ARV times your loan to value. I did that 75% because I basically want you to make 5 or 10,000 off if this is your first deal, or maybe you're just trying to keep a good string of income coming. You want to stick around the 75% mark because you don't want to try and hit a home run every single time at bat. Sometimes you just got to hit that double play, or that, I'm sorry, that double. You might want to hit that single or that triple, or maybe you trying to hit a sacrifice bunt and just catch something off the bunt. But what you want to do is make sure you get a deal and you can get it closed. So for the sake of argument, I did this one. The example you'll see over here to my right, you're going to see I did 250,000. 250K is the ARV for this house at the end of your street here. It looks in rough shape. The roof is a little off. Maybe it's been vacant. Windows busted. It's boarded up. It looks kind of rough. It's going to need some work. So before you can talk to the owner or make an offer, you definitely have to know in your mind what you can offer them. So 250K. Maybe you want to write this down, or you can go strictly off of what I have on the screen here. 250,000. Punch into your calculator times 75% or 0.75. Once you get that number, you're going to come to, that's $187,500. We've already dropped that down to the 75% loan to value, which means an investor is going to need to get a loan to cover that cost right there. And that's a loan to value cost. So now we need to subtract the rehab cost. The rehab cost, we're just going to throw out a number at 55,000. That's typically what it might be for a regular family neighborhood for a property that I just described. Roof, bathrooms, kitchen, regular updates and stuff like that. We're just, we're playing with the numbers so you have a safe formula to go off of. We did it at the 75%. We came to 187.5. We're going to subtract 55K. That's going to bring you at $132,500. Now we're going to subtract your fee. We're going to say $10,000 for this property. So subtract 10,000, you come to 122.5. So your max allowable offer, remember this, after you've subtracted the rehab costs and you've subtracted your fee as well, your max allowable offer is now 122.5 to the seller. So you're saying, seller, I know, I've done my homework, I've done my research in the area. I know my best number that I could come at you with right now is around 122,500, maybe 123 or 24,000. But I know I can't really go anywhere higher past that number. Your seller, a lot of times people are afraid to talk to somebody and say, man, that's a low number for someone's house and it's selling for 250K over here. You can't think like that. You don't need to worry about that. That's the investor's job to get it up to that price, and it's your seller's job. It's your job to let your seller know that you have to bring the motivation out of them. Your property does need this amount of work. It is in an area with these price homes, and Zillow says this, or Trulia says that. But the reality is, it's going to cost me the closing costs. It's going to cost me the roof, the rehab, the fees if I have to deal with zoning with the city, any of that. So I definitely have to stick to my price, and I can't go above that. Don't be afraid to throw your offer out there. If you want to start even at 115K, it sounds scary. Like, man, 115K, I can't. That's just lowballing somebody. No, now they know that, okay, I have a property that's really bad shape. I'm gonna have to do something about this. So let me try and barter with him. So now you have some room to play around with the seller, and he's gonna come at you with a different. Well, I'll do 130K. Mm, I understand where you at with that, but I definitely, I definitely have to stick with my number. I know exactly where I'm at with it, and considering the amount of work, blah, blah, blah. You go back and forth, but the lower you start, the less room that psychologically your seller knows he has to play with. If you tell him the wrong number, which is why I say it's so important, if you tell him a number that's too high, then you already lost. He has the power. He or she has the power. The seller has the power now. You messed up because trying to get a number lower than what you initially said, you already, because the seller's going to always remember, well, I mean, you just said 150, 150K. Now it's 120K. Nah, something's not right. Or if you tell them 150K and they're still not happy, well, how about 170K? Oh, well, you can't go any lower than 150, and that's already over than what you're supposed to offer. So now when you bring it to a real investor who needs to buy the property, you're just stuck like Chuck. And now you either got to amend the contract or let the seller know, hey, this is the only thing I can do is bring it lower. And once again, that just spells trouble, red flags to sellers altogether. And it's just going to mess up all the time you've put into this and what could possibly be of it. It's basically going to be a dead deal at that point. So, know your numbers. I can't stress that enough. Go over this formula as much as you can. Just if you see a for sale by owner sign, maybe it's in great condition. Don't worry. Take the numbers down, practice, get it down. So you're like, oh, I know how to get the ARV to this.